Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Ray as our Africa Corps. His opponent today is going to be FeriG as our US. So this is game 1 of a 2-game series between these players that I found in their replay packs available on company of CoH3stats.com. So I saw that these players had played 2 games in a row, and I decided I wanted to check it out. So this is game 1. Game 2 will be coming to you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy. Both players. Okay, I was about to say, you know me. I'm gonna say both players open in standard, but of course our U.S. player is not opening standard. Has gone for the armored battle group and quickly teched into these assault engineers and is adding on 3 of them. German player going for a bit more of a normal opening here. Has added on 2 Panzer Grenadiers. Usual to not see a bike first. We might see a bike third here, but honestly, I think we're going to see another Panzer Grenadier. So cool builds to start us off here. German player. Oh, I thought he'd locked in for a second there, but he has not. Love these scouts standing on the edge of the circle here, just barely capturing, and then he's going to click off to get to whatever point he's going to next, just that much faster. Scouts might find these Panzer Pioneers, but not just yet. And 250 on the way for our German. 4th Assault Engineer on the way for a US player. So, with this many Assault Engineers, you can get very aggressive. I mean, this is a ton of capturing power, right? You just have more dudes than your opponent, so you can capture more space. These units do very well up close, of course. They can be added on those flamethrowers to just make them do a ton of work. And I'm curious what he's got in store for us here. Infantry Support Center already on the way for a US player. So, kind of feels like he's going to go for... Well, here's my copium again. I think he might go for Motor Pool. With this many engineers, you can definitely support some light vehicles. Of course, he's, a few minutes away from that, but it'd be cool to see. Scouts scuffling with this 250. Can't stay around very long. So I like this idea from high-level players, right? They try to keep their units on the field, right? He's like, if you really want to chase these scouts, you're going to have to come all the way out to this edge of the map and just waste your 250's time. And then as soon as the 250's gone, I'm going to sneak back in with my scouts and steal territory. It's very cool. Panzer Grenadiers totally wrecking these Assault Engineers. 250 and more troops on the side here. Going to push those Assault Engineers back. And fair warning, there's about 100% chance that I'm going to say Assault Grenadiers instead of Assault Engineers this game, so if you hear me do that, I apologize in advance. Captain on the field now from that Infantry Support Center, and our US player actually went for the Weapon Support Center here, so going to have those bazookas on the way. Now, this choice makes me think he might end up with half-tracks instead of a Greyhound, or Motor Pool in general, I should say. Let's see what ends up happening here. 250 getting very aggressive with his flamethrowers. Bazooka's there to try and help out. And these scouts look like they're going to be pushed away by those engineers there. Pioneers, I should say. Assault Engineers getting really aggro here, going down to that flamethrower in a big way. Flank from these Assault Engineers on the side here, going to do some serious work with that flamethrower, though. And Bazooka's managing to connect with the 250, and the German is going to give up this position. Nice little push out of the base there, trying to pick up units on the retreat. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. While all this has been going on, though, our US players continue to control the victory points here. That's looking pretty good. While we have a brief pause here, I just wanted to thank everybody for their patience on me trying out this tournament mode here. I really do like how much more of the space I can see. but it definitely takes away from, you know, the amount of learning that we can all do together, right? I mean, I need tooltips. I don't know what everything's called, but I am trying to switch back and forth between them. I'm getting better at it, so I appreciate your patience, and let me know what you think. You know, if you hate the tournament mode, let me know. If you love it, let me know. If you don't care, I'd love to hear that too, honestly. There is a poll up on my channel, and I'd love to hear what you think. So we'll see where we end up going from here. So where do our players go from here? We did see... Okay, so we're seeing fire support elements on the way for our German. So probably going to see a flak half-track would be my guess. US player, on the other hand, let's just take a quick look at his tech while these assault engineers do some work here. Zuka's chasing this 250, might get him. Is going to get him, nicely done. A nice little pickup for him. Yeah, US player seemingly content with just the weapon support center for now. It's a cool build, skipping barracks altogether. Interesting way to do things. Panzer Pioneers trading flamethrower blasts with those assault engineers. And it does look like the Panzer Pioneers are eventually going to get forced out of here. More Panzer Pioneers on the scene. And here come the Panzer Grenadiers to try and drive them out. So US players definitely done a better job with the victory points. But both players relatively equal on income overall, especially that critical fuel throughout this game. Flak half-track on the way as expected. Might see another bazooka here. Does have quite a bit of fuel though. Yeah, see, I'm still on that copium. I'm like, please, you know, go for a motor pool. Alright, assault engineer's gonna drive away these Panzer Grenadiers there. You know, something I don't know about assault engineers and just have always assumed is that they can plant mines. Right? I mean, surely. I think I'd know this. Yeah, absolutely. They can do anything a regular engineer can do. So, love to see some mines from our US player. I guess he is rather strapped for munitions. So that means either he has been planting mines already. There's one, I think. Half-track on the field for our US player. Suspect we're going to see that upgraded to the 75mm, as is tradition. Black half driving away these assault engineers and going to hit that mine, so great little pickup for him there. Unfortunately, the unit's just going to get repaired up. Assault Grenadiers on the scene, bazooka's flanking. Flak half-track in some serious jeopardy here, but doesn't know it. Should see it now. Bazooka's coming in on the side. Gonna get a couple shots here. Not able to pick him up, and bazookas have to give up the position. Minesweepers on the scene, gonna detect these mines from our assault engineer Fiesta. And flak panzer completely shredding here. Of course, this half-track has not been upgraded to the 75mm yet. But while this is happening, US player taking a ton of territory here. With the flak half-track out of commission for a little bit here. And looking at our US player's build, this is a rather munitions-intensive build, I think. You know, you don't see that very often where you need munitions for your units to succeed. I mean, any upgrades that cost munitions on any unit definitely improves the performance. But this build in particular, it really feels like those assault engineers need to be planting mines to be effective. They need to be using flamethrowers to be effective. And that's really munitions intensive, right? So, is going to steal away the fuel point here. That's nice for him. Deny a little bit of income to his opponent. And heavy machine gun added on for a US player. So, starting out with an unusual build of assault engineers, but kind of shifting into more of a meta build, right? With these heavy machine guns and half-tracks. See if he continues to bust those units out, or if he's happy with just a couple. And heavy machine gun on the way for our German player. I think that's a great choice. You know, when your opponent has so much infantry, having that crowd control can be really, really powerful, right? Half-track still not upgraded. That's kind of cool, actually. You know, he's threatening upgrading this unit, right? So our German player has to play as if this thing were a 75mm, but our US player is not committing to that choice yet, so we're in this situation where, yeah, it's a scary unit, but not actually being upgraded, and here comes the 75mm now. Having just acquired enough munitions there. Flak half-track supporting these Panzerjäger. And honestly, these two units are peas in a pod, right? One is anti-tank, one is anti-infantry. And the anti-tank one was covering the long-range anti-infantry units, so beautifully done there. And does need to get this flak half-track out of there. Doesn't know it just yet. Now is finding out as the 75mm rolls up. And 75mm missing every shot, fortunately for our German. Heavy machine gun on the scene here. More mines coming out from our German, or our US player rather. Mines all sorts of everywhere. Heavy machine gun with a nice firing arc here. Gonna stop those Panzer Grenadiers in their tracks. Flak half-track focusing the heavy machine gun there, blasting him with those phosphorus rounds. Unit's gonna have to bail out. Panzerjäger's in the half-track, gonna chase down this 75mm from the looks of things. This, of course, is a risky play, because the 75mm can do that to him. Looks like he does not mind losing the 75 or the 250 there if he can take out the 75mm. Good trade for him. Has to immediately run out of there. Is going to bounce now. Should make it out okay. These units are all relatively short range, so the further away he gets, the better off he is. Assault engineers sprinting after there. That's kind of cool. How's he doing that? Oh, I wonder how he did that. Very cool. In any case, back to tournament mode here. And lovely little phosphorus rocket from those bazookas there. Going to make that heavy machine gun reposition. Flak half-track on the scene. Actually might even get some good hits on those bazookas. Nicely done. German in full retreat up top there. And both players continuing to build heavy machine guns. So really wanting to control their opponent here. Ambulance on the way for our German. US player has quite a bit of fuel here. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a tank depot in the near future. And there it is. German player, on the other hand, also has quite a bit of fuel. So I wonder if he's going to want to go for the standard Panzer IIIs here, or if we're going to see him. Yeah, there's no way he's going for a elephant. Nobody goes for elephants. You know, I could put some copium out there for you guys. You know, let's just say I hope we see the elephant this game. So let's take a quick look at their tech while we have just a second here. Bazooka's on the side of this flak half-track, getting a glancing blow there. Yeah, neither player really investing into their infantry through their armories or infantry support centers or some other method. Nice grenade there, going to do some good damage to that heavy machine gun. Again, the phosphorus round from those bazookas going to force that heavy machine gun to move. Great use of that unit's utility. And there's a second bazooka squad on the field to deal with this half-track. Machine gun setup, getting a decent firing arc here through the middle. And you know, I didn't really talk about the map at all at the start, but I really like Villafiore. I think this central hill is such a cool feature to fight around, right? Where you've got this, I don't know, it's just like King of the Hill, right? And I think that's kind of a cool mechanic. I also really like the design of the middle in the sense that, you know, you've got these really dramatic walls here and like lots of heavy cover and light cover and just all this cover, but it just can get absolutely decimated by explosives and tanks and what have you, and it leads to a really dynamic center, and that combined with the high ground is just fascinating for me. So I love this map. for that reason. Heavy machine gun going to go down there, and the Panzer Pioneers are going to pick it up too. So nice little get there by our German player. And neither player going for tanks just yet. I mean, our U.S. player built the building. He started the tank depot. I'm not tripping, and you can't gaslight me. He did build that tank depot. Now he's building it again. I guess he needed the manpower back, potentially. So, interesting. Another heavy machine gun going down for the German there. Wait. Yeah, I don't know what that notification was, so ignore me. Ignore me there. Bazooka's being forced back as well. And, you know, what's cool to me is all these assault engineers are still alive. Like, managing to close the gap here. They are starting to vet up. So we could see some scary little vet bonuses start coming out here. Vet 1 is big, and then Vet 3 is really big. Vet 2 is okay, but not for the build that I think our U.S. player's going for. And both players adding on their tier 3 or 4, depending on how you count it. So, high tier units going to be on the way here, medium tanks, I should say. Third heavy machine gun on the field for our German here. Well, I guess that's the one he stole, so of course he has 3. Black half-track going to take out those bazookas on the top side. Fortunately for our U.S. player, and is that some butterfly bombs? I do think that is some butterfly bombs. So that's annoying. That is annoying. So a lot of folks think that ability to drop into the fog of war is broken, and I don't know if I agree with that or not. I mean, it's the strength of the ability, right? But then it's a time waster, right? A good player, the worst that's going to happen to them is they're going to have their time wasted. So, I mean, dedicating just one engineer to clear out that whole patch, I don't think that's a huge problem, right? And, you know, another thing folks have a problem with is that units automatically attack the mines. And that I can understand, but, you know, if you're careful with your units, it shouldn't matter. I don't know. I think it's fine, but I know that's an unpopular opinion, so, you know, I'm not going to make you agree with me. AT gun here for our German player, helping out with this EZ8, which I neglected to praise while we were seeing the butterfly bombs rain down from the sky. Probably got a little too excited and carried away with those butterfly bombs. That's okay. German player does have enough fuel for a tank. Hasn't gone for a Panzer III just yet. Is struggling for manpower a little bit here. Struggling is not the right word. Just has a lot on the field, so gonna have that income slowed down a little bit. Flak half-track on the scene. Bazooka's getting a good connection there. EZ8 wants a piece as well. Panzerjäger's ready for this EZ8, but is going to lose the half-track here. From the looks of things, nice moving shot there. AT gun getting a good connection. EZ8 going behind this AT gun. Panzerjäger's trying to get shots here, but assault engineers rather going to be on the scene. 250 going down to the EZ8 as well. AT gun set up again, but EZ8 continuing to hide. Looks like he's trying to get an anti-tank grenade out here. EZ8 continuing to run for its life, and U.S. player is trying to create a hole for his tank to escape. Does look like that's going to happen. Anti-tank gun in trouble here. EZ8 going to take this opportunity to get the heck out of Dodge. Assault engineers chasing this AT gun down. More German forces on the scene, going to stop that from happening. And both players getting out of the fight there, but that was a great pickup for a U.S. player, getting both the flak half-track and the 250. Enemy movement near a victory point. Phosphorus rockets coming out from those bazookas, doing some serious work there, removing those heavy machine guns. And, you know, all things considered, both players very equal on victory points. Been a bloodbath across the map. You know, what's crazy about these two players being the number 1 and number 2 on the ladder is just how much APM they have to spare, right? Their attention can be everywhere on the map all at once, and I'm just blown away every time. So, like, I'm focusing on this fight with with the Easy 8 and all those units there, but I guarantee you those players were having another fight elsewhere on the map at the exact same time, which is totally nuts. Now, I look away from my Easy 8 for 1 second and it dies in a situation like that, right? I think we've all been there. Panzer Grenadiers fighting this high veterancy scout squad here. This is the OG scout squad alive since the beginning of the game. Beautiful use of that unit by our US player, just continuously sending it out on the wings to capture territory. I mean, we saw it get in a scuffle with that 250 at the very start of the game. And that's what I'm talking about with these high-level players, right? They're just constantly being annoying with their units, right? Keeping their units where they need to be. It's so cool to see. This game's awesome. This game is fantastic. 250, Easy 8 poking its head around the corner there, getting a shot on the Panzer Pioneers there. Heavy machine gun behind the truck should be okay for a little bit longer, but the Easy 8 is getting aggro here. AT gun ready, bouncing off the front of that tank there. Tank busters upgraded from our German player, from that Panzerjäger command tree there. Battle group, I should say. Tank busters, of course, pretty scary with that Panzerschreck. Easy 8 just trying to help out from maximum range. Heavy machine gun not facing the right way, but does have support from these Panzer Grenadiers. Surprisingly choosing to close the gap here. Heavy machine gun did reposition, but the unit got to heavy cover, so won't be suppressed here. And it looks like the US player was trying to force back the heavy machine gun, is going to succeed in that mission. Easy 8 on the way. And then while this is happening, there's a fight on the side here. AT gun bouncing off the front. 2 heavy machine guns trying to deal with this bazooka squad in heavy cover there. Nicely done by our US player, getting down some sandbags there to let him capture this point. And being flanked by a heavy machine gun from the US player, gonna force that German back. Second Easy 8 on the field for our US player. German player continuing to float a ton of fuel here. Does have manpower now. And I wonder what he wants to do. I mean... oh, we saw him go for heavy element. We saw him go for armored reserves, so we're going to see a Tiger here. We're going to see a Tiger. Forgot that I had seen that, and I didn't say anything about it. I'm sorry, just to spring it on you like that. But, yeah, armored reserves has been researched, so definitely going to see a Tiger. It's going to have just about enough manpower right when that fuel ticks up. So another 30 seconds or so. I guess it's probably closer to a minute at this point. And yeah, so 2 Easy 8s can definitely take on a Tiger if played correctly, but with supporting units, of course, the dynamic changes. So as long as the Tiger doesn't get isolated, should do just fine. US player controlling all 3 victory points here. German player waiting for that Tiger before taking action here. And about 30 seconds away here. So all quiet. Now, if I'm our US player, and I have magical spidey senses, I'm going to be planting mines everywhere. And look, that's exactly what he's doing. Right? When it's quiet, and you don't have anything else to do, and you don't need to take more territory, do something else, right? Whether that's building emplacements, or scouting the fog of war, or throwing down mines, whatever it is. Sandbags absolutely everywhere for our US player, and Tiger is on the field. German player pushing hard on this bottom side here. Also defending the middle here. Easy 8's moving up. Tiger crawling out of the base here. And I love the way the Tiger sounds. The engine is just so cool. This is such a cool unit. Pushing forward here is the Tiger. Trying to get a long shot on those bazookas. Getting a glancing blow there. German player is going to take away this bottom victory point. Continuing to push in more sandbags on the way for our U.S. player. Oh, I'm sorry, that's our German player. What am I saying? Here's a landmine, though. Looks like the German might be able to find it with his face. AT gun ready for these easy 8s. And nice little counter building here from our German, throwing down sandbags and barbed wire on his opponent's sandbags. The player is going to find that mine right before the minesweeper is complete from those Panzer Pioneers, unfortunately for him. And nice little push by our German player. US player just giving him the space. That's a little surprising to me. Easy 8s duking it out with this. Is that a Hellcat? That is a Hellcat. Very cool. Hellcat in response to this Tiger. Love to see that. And actually using it as a sniper there. So we're going to see this Hellcat being put at maximum range. And I think we're going to see the Easy 8s eventually choose to dive on that Tiger. And see how long that takes to actually happen. High veterancy engineers going to bail out. Bazookas dealing a little bit of damage to that Tiger there. Heavy machine gun going to be forced back by the Easy 8s. German player not seeing it just yet. Tiger continuing to fight there. Hellcat on the wings. And heavy machine gun barely getting out of there. And heavy machine gun in the side. I love this from our German player. I think that putting your heavy machine guns into buildings in the late game, especially on the wings of the map, Faymanville also has buildings like that, could be absolutely huge. AT gun going down. Satchel charge going to finish it off. So great use of that. Hellcat going to die here to this this Tiger from the looks of things. Oh, barely almost getting out of there. Barely going to go down there. But unfortunately for our German, losing those tank busters, and engineers going to steal away the bazooka, or Shrek, I should say. Tiger trying to deal with those Easy 8s. They are going to back off. Flak 36 nearly done for our German player. So that's another cool unit. You know, you don't see the Flak 36 very often. Those, oh, heavy machine guns setting up. Okay. So, Flak 36, I love seeing this unit at a high level. It's so much fun to watch players micro it, because you have to set it up, take it down, move it around, you know, deal with indirect fire. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, right? And so watching high-level players use it is very cool. Now, this is an injured Easy 8 here. Does need to bail out, but unfortunately for him, that damaged engine is going to be a problem. Engineers come in to try and save the day. Tiger on the scene. Another Hellcat added on by our US player. So I expect we're going to see tank battle here as this Easy 8 tries to help defend here. Hellcat getting the flank. Flak 36 not in range yet. And just mounting up at just the wrong time there. Anti-tank artillery being called in here. Is going to get some decent connections there. Flak 36 setting up. This tank's still in the circle of doom there. Might go down. Going to get picked up by the Flak 36, but trading a Tiger for an Easy 8 is a trade I will take all day long. Satchel charge going to destroy this tank, anti-tank gun. Actually only killing it, not destroying it there. This player could think about taking it, but they wouldn't be able to actually steal it, so scratch what I just said. Bazooka's going to come in and try and destroy the Flak 36. Easy 8 on the side here, going to help deal with these heavy machine guns. Frag grenade coming out, moving the captain out of cover briefly, and that's a dead Flak 36 there. So what a play from our US player. That was just awful timing by our German, and I don't think there's anything he could have done about that. Right, he identified where the tanks were. You know what? I think the only mistake he made in that situation was he shouldn't have gone in with the Tiger first, right? It's really tempting to, you know, you look at your Tiger and you think this thing is a god, there's no way I can lose it, and then you poke its head out and all of a sudden you're in deep trouble, and that's what we saw there, right? The Easy 8 had a nice flank alongside the Hellcat, and that was just a dunzo tank, so real shame for our German there. Does look like the US player is going to drive into his opponent's base here. I think the German is coming to terms with his loss here. You know, I don't like to call games too early, but German does not have enough fuel or enough manpower to really come back from this. And with only 80 points to go, I don't see that happening. Yeah, and there's going to be the surrender. What a cool game. That was a cool game. I know it wasn't, yeah, I don't know. It was a fun little game, Assault Engineer opening, right? Got to see a lot of tanks, Tigers, EZ8s, Hellcats. It was great. And even a Flak 36, despite the fact that it didn't get to do a whole lot. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.